Oh, I'm totally mad. There's no reason for it. This is absolute stupidity. This is a man-made crisis caused by Donald Trump. Period.
Soybeans are the largest agricultural export from the U.S. Last year, the value was more than $24 billion. China bought 52% of those soybeans. Since May, the country has placed 0 orders.
You're not going to get an entitled American to come out and do the work that we do. It's hot. There's mosquitoes out here. It's an uncomfortable situation.
What do you tell someone who says, I'm not a farmer, I don't hire undocumented immigrants, this doesn't affect me?
Good for them. Get ready to pay more at the grocery store.
With the American workers, they all had to be taught all this and separate, and in addition to the fact that their bodies just were not built for it.
So many farmers have such a difficult time getting Americans to work on their farms. How many U.S. citizens pick crops on your farm? None. Zero. It's heavy, he says. The work is hard. These farm owners don't disagree with that assessment. Americans have other choices and just don't want to do this, they say.
But these guys are coming here for a reason. They're coming here for serious work to try to support their families in Mexico or wherever they've come from. They're not here to play. I mean, it's very obvious.
They voted to deport the people feeding them. Now they're watching their crops rot in the field. Right now, across rural America, the same counties that went 80% red, the same towns with Trump flags on every porch, farmers are losing hundreds of thousands of dollars. Not because of some foreign enemy, not because of some coastal elite policy, because the workers are gone. The hands that picked every strawberry, every head of lettuce, every peach you put in your kids' lunchbox, they've been swept up, detained or fled, and the crops, they are sitting there rotting while the grocery stores shelves start to look a little more sparse and a lot more expensive. But here's what nobody wants to say out loud. This is not an accident. This is what happens when you build an economy on the backs of people you are never planning to treat like human beings. So I want you guys to stay around because this goes deeper than farming. We're talking about power, race, and who America has always decided gets to eat. Have these clips over the very end, and then I'll be back with my final commentary on the same.
If we snapped our fingers and every single illegal immigrant in the United States disappeared, we would literally starve to death. You wonder why I'm so passionate about agriculture and so passionate about immigration as part of agriculture? It's that, guys. You don't know the whole picture. Now, should we have illegal immigrants working in the field? Should we have illegal immigrants working in construction? Should we have illegal immigrants working in hotels and wherever else they might be? No, we shouldn't. But they are, and there's tens of millions of them working in the system. So if we just say, hey, they got to get out of here, well, you have to have a solution before you just send people out the door. Now, I'm not talking about ethics today, and I've talked a lot about ethics. Let's just talk about economics. Let's just talk about the reality of economics. You send 10 million people out the door that are filling 10 million roles in the United States, and 80% of those people are working in agriculture. What do you think is going to happen? Do you think you're going to eat tomorrow if there's all of a sudden not people there to harvest, to pick, to pack, to drive the tractors, to do everything? Pretty quick, you'd find yourself without any food in your mouth, any food in your stomach, and you would be starving to death. That's why I'm so passionate about it, because we can't just be stupid. We have to have a solution. The ethics aside, I'm frustrated by the ethics because I know the people that we're talking about, but I think you still want to eat. So no matter what, we got to look at a solution and not just complain about all of the people who are here illegally, because you'll starve to death without it.
First, immigrants are taking your jobs. Now they're not there to work for you. Pick a fucking struggle, because you can't.
Jim is a Republican who voted for Donald Trump 3 times.
How do you feel about your vote for Donald Trump now?
Well, I feel like perhaps I should have considered some other options.
Among other things, Jim imports packaging supplies for his honey, so he's paying real close attention to the tariffs Trump just put in place.
We just bought our year's supply of bottles from Taiwan and our year's supply of corks from Portugal about 3 weeks ago. So that would have been, another $5,000 or $6,000 out of my pocket.
Which is partly why he's repairing instead of replacing this 40-year-old forklift.
The cost of equipment has just gone through the roof to buy anything like that, because it just would be cost prohibitive.
He's also holding off on improvements around the farm.
Well, we're not going to hire any more people, that's for sure.
It's more than just the tariffs. For the past 2 years, Jim has been selling honey to the federal government, which then provides it to schools and food banks. But after Donald Trump took office, the USDA cut those programs suddenly as part of the federal government's effort to streamline spending.
For a lot of other local farmers around here, it was a major source of reliable revenue. For me, it's going to cost me around $150,000 a year.
$150,000.
Yeah, roughly 50% of my revenue.
That's a huge hit.
Get rid of illegal immigrants, quit eating. And that's for everybody. That's, nationwide. If you want to get rid of them, quit eating. That'll solve the problem.
But when only 5 pickers showed up this morning to harvest his sweet potatoes, farmer Keith Smith saw possible ruin, the loss of his $500,000 crop.
They're running scared because of this new law.
And you're in trouble.
I'm in trouble, bad trouble.
Smith's 200 acres need 20 pickers, mostly Mexican nationals.
There is not enough documented people here to supply that workforce.
Most of your workers are here illegally.
That's sure. If they got documentation, they got a better job working for me.
Fernando Aldeman, a Mexican national, has worked Smith's farm since 1992.
Everybody's just scared.
Yeah.
Now, are you here legally? No.
No.
So, are you scared?
Yeah, I'm scared. I'm scared,
Smith's pickers make about $100 a day. He supports immigration laws, just not this one that threatens his third generation.
You cannot deport people in any circumstances as a Christian. Is that what you're saying?
God says in the Hebrew scriptures that you must treat the alien as one of your own and protect him and never exploit.
But you say you're not an open borders guy. Is that unchristian of you?
That's a good question. Like I said, we have to have some safeguards over who comes into the country. But y'all know so much of this is about the year 2045, when Caucasians are going to become a minority population. And that is driving so much of this so they can make it not happen until 2047, maybe 2048.
Who is architecting policy based on that particular fear? Because I think you just conjured that.
Take a look at the patterns. Whenever they go and they raid a meatpacking plant and they say, oh, they arrested 400 illegals, they never arrest the 2 white guys counting the money in the back rooms. And that's how you know it is a racist scam. If you're standing on American soil, you're allowed to claim asylum. Calling them illegals is a racist, otherizing slur. The majority of undocumented immigrants are people who overstayed their visas. There's over 20,000 undocumented Irish in this country. We're not seeing them sent down to Alcatraz, are we? The Russians? If you want to see border crossings end, 1 year in jail. If you hire an I don't care if it's a nanny, yard work, 3 guys outside Home Depot, you come to landscape, you do that, you start locking up the white people who lure these people across the border, you will see border crossings stop. And yet, when do we ever hear either political party talk about going after the people who do the hiring, because they're the ones who drive it?
Good people, welcome back to the channel and allow me to paint your picture. A farmer in Georgia, 3rd generation, red hat, voted straight ticket, is standing in his field watching $300,000 worth of blueberries shrivel on the vine. He called the labor agency. He posted on job boards. He even went to the local unemployment office and said, come work, I'll pay you. You know how many American citizens showed up? 0. Not a few, not a handful, 0. And now he is on camera, hat in hand, telling the news that he doesn't know how he's going to survive this season. And I'm sitting here watching this man and I feel something deeply complicated, because part of me has no sympathy and part of me knows that's exactly the reaction they designed this whole system to produce. So here's the numbers they don't put on the Chiron. Roughly 80% of undocumented immigrants in America work in agriculture. 80%. These are the people separating crops in 95-degree heat with mosquitoes the size of small bats. These are the people on their knees in the dirt at 5 a.m. so your avocado, a toast cost $14 instead of $40. And when I scrolled through, when the raid started, when the fear spread through these communities like wildfire, they left or they were taken and the crops stayed. Out of that, the tariffs. China stopped buying American soybeans. $24 billion in exports gone overnight. Honey farmers are paying $5,000 to $6,000 more for imported bottles and cocks. Equipment costs have gone through the roof. One farmer is repairing a 40-year-old forklift because he can't afford a new one. And the USDA budget cuts wiped out the federal contracts that were buying from small farms. One beekeeper lost $150,000 a year. That's half his revenue gone. Rural America is being economically dismantled by the very ideology it voted for. And that's not a liberal taking point. That's arithmetic. Those are numbers. Now, I want to be precise here because this is not just a story about irony. It is not just, haha, they voted against their own interest. That framing lets the architects off the hook. This is a story about what happens when a nation builds its food system, its literal survival infrastructure on an exploitable underclass and then decides the underclass has gotten too comfortable. The American agricultural economy was designed this way. It was designed to need cheap, desperate, undocumented labor because documented labor will demand rights, will demand water breaks, will demand shade, will demand not to be called slurs while working. The system didn't fail. The system is working exactly as intended. It's just that the people who built it forgot they also needed to eat. And now they have got tariffs strangling export markets, deportations guarding the workforce, and federal programs cut to the bone, and somehow they are surprised at the outcome. From a diaspora lens, this hits different because black folks, whether you're in Chicago, Kingston, Lagos, or Nairobi, London, wherever you are, we know what it looks like when a system extracts your labor and then criminalizes your existence. We've been the expandable workforce. We've been the essential workers who weren't essential enough to protect. We watched it happen to us during COVID. We watched it happen during every economic contraction since Reconstruction. So when I watch immigrant farm workers, mostly brown, mostly Latin American, largely indigenous, get disappeared from the fields, I'm not watching something foreign. I'm watching a remix of a song I already know every word to word. The diaspora has always understood something deeply that mainstream American political commentary refuses to accept. Racial capitalism doesn't stop eating just because it runs out of one group. It just finds the next body to consume. And the part that keeps me up at night, the kids, not the farmers' kids, though yes, them too. I mean the children of the workers who left, the ones who were born in America and are now watching their parents flee or get detained. The ones in schools where teachers are reporting empty desks because whole families vanished overnight. The ones who now live with the terror that no child should carry, that on any given morning their parent might not come home. That's very crazy. We talk about food prices, we should also talk about the psychological cost of building an economy on human fear. Guys, this story is so heartbreaking. But you know what? If you F around, you find out. The more you F around, the more you find out. This is the Diaspora View. Let us catch up next.